The return of James Francis Gill has both startled and delighted critics and collectors alike. Even Gill occasionally finds himself marveling at the strange sequence of events that has delivered him to this time and place. Now, at the Sao Paulo in the exhibit, I'm just looking at some of the names that were there. You got James Gill, Robert Indiana, Jasper Johns, Roy Lichtenstein, Claes Oldenburg, Robert Rauschenberg, James Rosenquist, Ed Ruscha, and Andy Warhol. All in one exhibition.
Right.
That's astonishing.
Right. And that was before everyone's fame took off. That was kind of a major show.
On May 17th, 2007, Christie's held a special auction featuring works by several pop icons from the Sao Paulo 9 exhibition. Many pieces fetched $1 million or more. In addition, one of Warhol's Marilyn Monroe portraits sold for an impressive $28 million.
I think James Gill's Marilyn is every bit as good and exciting a painting as Warhol's Marilyn, and I don't see any reason why, if he got into that same auction, why he wouldn't bring millions for his paintings.
Marilyn Monroe's image was very popular right at the time of her. It was popular before she committed suicide, but it was very popular at the time. Jim Gill jumped on it right away. I mean, he really did that painting just at the time, and Warhol followed a little bit later, but by using a stock image of Marilyn that was really a photo shoot headshot.
Interest in Gill's paintings dealing with cultural figures and political issues began to widen.
And so he was quickly sought after by other museums, curators in the country, from the Chicago Art Institute, from the Whitney Museum. Other places were starting to pay attention, and when their acquisition budgets could afford to do so, they would contact Felix Landau. We want a Jim Gill in our collection. And once you're knighted by the experts as being a key player in this world of contemporary art, the other museums follow suit. And that happened to Jim.
In the fall of 1968, Gill was commissioned to paint a portrait of Russian novelist Alexander Solzhenitsyn for the cover of Time magazine. After a 15-year hiatus, James Gill had created a completely new style of art.
So then when I started doing these paintings with this process, I remembered back when Andy Warhol had done the silkscreen thing, and I remember saying, wish I'd have done that, because that's really a neat process. But then I got mine and I said, eat your heart out. I've got a process that is better than any of them.
I'm very pleased with the new work, and it hasn't been seen much yet, but I think it definitely will be. It captures a sense of popular culture. It doesn't just render it in a flat way. His sense of color, his sense of a subject, his ability to render, to draw, his sensitivity to color and to design is very strong, and I think that's why he's important.
Is it fair to say that in a way you've become freed, that you're not attached to ideas, and therefore your images, your colors, your sense of shape, of line, can rise to the front?
It can go anywhere. You know, there are no rules to what's on that canvas. I love to paint. I like to wake up in the morning to get started. At night I say, well, hurry up and get this sleep over with so I can, get into a new painting. Because every painting is really kind of an experience.
The man knows how to make images. He's an image maker. And all the artists that I've known in my lifetime who were the real deal are people who were just fanatical about making their art. He is. That's why I think so much of his life and his image making is in the future, not the past.
With the reemergence of his new work, and he'll certainly become better known and rediscovered, which the art world also loves to do. They love to rediscover people.
think if James Gill had not abandoned his work in the 70s, his price points would be much higher now. They'd be more in line with the Rauschenberg, Rosenquist, or David Hockney, for example.
An art collector very rarely has the opportunity to buy museum-level art by a museum-quality artist, short, of course, of spending hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Now, with James Gill's reemergence, collectors will have that opportunity. Obviously, there is going to be a closing of the gap between the prices of the other recognized pop art icons, such as Warhol and Lichtenstein and James Gill. And if that's the case, then I think collectors are going to be very, very glad that they did in fact acquire James's work at this point.
While others predict big things for James Gill, he says he's just happy to be back in San Angelo, doing what he loves.
So Jim Gill has come home.
Yeah, definitely.
Period.
Period. Yeah.
Not going away again.
You never know what's going to happen. I mean, with my life, I don't know where I will be 5 years from now. But for right now, I'm right here.